With the release of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming up, Nintendo has been releasing more and more information about the games every day as time goes by. They're announcing all kinds of new things, such as showing off all the awesome new graphics, the revamped hideouts, and of course a lot of new Mega Evolutions as well. However, some of these Mega Evolutions just aren't as cool as others. As a matter of fact, a lot of these designs just look plain lazy. And no offense to anybody that likes these designs, but I just think that some of them are crappy. There have been so many awesome looking Mega Evolutions in the past. However, the past Mega Evolutions had their share of stinkers as well. And I know that the games haven't even been released yet and I'm already complaining about some of the designs, but just know that I'm not actually complaining about the Mega Evolution themselves. They may actually end up being amazing fighters. I'm purely just talking about the designs and what they're turning some of our old favorite Pokemon into. Because with this being an old classic Pokemon game, you know some people are going to be really upset if some of their old favorite Pokemon get turned into something crappy. So with all that said, you guys, here are my top 5 least favorite Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Mega Evolutions. I'm starting off my list with a Pokemon evolution line that started in the 3rd generation. Early on in your journey in Hoenn, you came across your first Psychic-type Pokemon, Ralts, who if you managed to train, became a really great Pokemon on your team. It evolved into a few different forms, and eventually you'd have to choose between Gardevoir or Gallade. I always went with Gardevoir, and she even got a Mega Evolution in X and Y, making her the stronger and better choice to use. But now Nintendo has decided to even the playing field and give Gallade a new Mega Evolution in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Gardevoir's Mega Evolution wasn't great looking, but hey, at least she got a bigger butt. With Gallade though, all he got was a cape. Seriously? Is he a superhero now or something? He even got a dual disc. Kinda reminds me of another duelist with a cape. I could have given him a much better look, but it seems they just took the lazy way out. Hopefully he'll make up for it by having some great stats and abilities. I guess that's something we'll have to just wait and find out. Speaking of Pokemon Mega Evolutions that don't have many changes, we got Mega Sharpedo. What sounded to be an amazing idea turned out to be just a plain boring one. Looking at Mega Sharpedo and regular Sharpedo, the only difference is they added a few golden lines and spikes! They could have made him look as threatening and as big as Jaws if they wanted to. Or even a Torpedo. Or even a Torpedo-pedo for crying out loud. Anything would have been more interesting than this. I don't get why they just think that adding gold lines and a few spikes makes something mega. I'm surprised with all of these gold lines they didn't just go ahead and give him some gold teeth or something as well. It could have been his Mega Evolution Stone. It's designs like this that are so disappointing to me because Sharpedo's a really cool looking Pokemon, and I just can't believe how lazy they were with its new design. I hope they try to be a bit more creative with the rest of them, but this list isn't done yet. We still have a few more lazy designs to get through. Lopunny is a lot of people's favorite Pokemon for many different reasons, but they're mostly Pokepervs. So when Mega Lopunny was announced, you can bet that those Pokeperverts soiled themselves when they heard this news. Mega Lopunny's design wasn't very different from her original. All they really did was give her some longer ears and a Karate Kid type of theme. And no, there were no Mega Bunny boobs. The design does do a good job of making her look older and more battle ready at least. As far as battle goes, Lopunny originally was a pretty good Pokemon to use, but in this Mega form she has a ton of weaknesses. She's 2 times weak to 4 different types of Pokemon, so she might be good, but not that great to use. If anything, this Mega Evolution was probably made to please the die-hard fans, and for no other reason. It would have been cool to see something different with this Mega Evolution, like maybe make her ugly as a Mega. Now that would have been a twist. But no, we've got Lola Bunny's skanky cousin instead. I guess I'm just looking for something a bit different and out of the ordinary. Kinda like this next Mega Evolution on my list. Sableye was always one of the cooler looking Pokemon in my opinion. I always loved the way it looked. It reminded me of my all-time favorite Pokemon, Gengar. Only I never really used it in battle because its stats weren't that great. But of course, now we have something that could change all that. That's right, I'm talking about Mega Sableye. Notice anything familiar? Yep, this Mega Evolution just ripped off The Legend of Zelda and got a huge red rupee. If Link was a trainer, I think he'd pick this guy as a starter. While I think that it's pretty cool to see a Zelda cameo cameo in Pokemon, this is all that they really gave to the design. What's with this trend in giving Pokemon bigger things and calling it Mega? In that logic, they could have given Sableye any random object and made it bigger and called it Mega. This one at least is a bit more clever than others, but it's still the same basic thing. Lazy. One thing that is awesome about this Mega Evolution though is that they use Sableye's reflection in the rupee to give it a creepy looking effect. While I do like this Mega Evolution, I just feel like it could have been better designed like a lot of the others. They could have given him a body with more jewels on it, or even a much darker look to go with his creepy factor. But I guess we'll just have to be satisfied with a giant rupee. Slowpoke is one of those Pokemon you just can't forget. His derpiness just makes him stand out among all the other Pokemon. Slowpoke evolved into 2 different Pokemon depending on which you pick. Either Slowking, which nobody uses, or Slowbro, who was actually a decent defensive wall. But now, allow me to introduce the newest addition to the Slow family, Mega Slowbro. In this form, his shell has almost completely taken over his body, and it just looks really ridiculous. I mean, just look at his face. He's all like, "What the shell just happened to me?" And that's really the only difference they even gave him. If giving Pokemon bigger parts is what they consider Mega, then they might as well just give Mega Miltank bigger nipples and call it a day. If that's all that they could come up with, then why did they even think that Slowbro needed a Mega Evolution to begin with? It's like they're just giving any random Pokemon Mega Evolutions now. It also gives Slowbro a massive advantage over Slowking now, so no one is even going to use Slowking over Slowbro anymore. Not that many did in the first place, but still. If they're going to give Slowbro a Mega Evolution, they may as well give Slowking one as well to even the playing field. I can just picture it now. This Pokemon might actually turn out well as a defensive wall, so at least it could have that going for it. However, he would still be slower than most Pokemon on any team. How will they play out? Only time will tell. What do you guys think about all these Mega Evolution designs? Let me know in a comment below. I'll see you guys in the next video.